all right. Hey, well, welcome back, man. Let me be the first to welcome you back to man, Rise from Silence. The strongest thing a man can do is tell the truth. 5 day challenge, man. We want to tell each and every one of you we appreciate your support, and we want you to know you're in the right place. Again, welcome, 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 welcome. And I just want to ask. I always like to start with something, just a question to ask, and then we can get into some other things. But let's be honest for a second. When the conversations get too real, kind of get that touch that spot that you've been guarding all your lifetime. You don't yell, you go quiet, right? And somewhere, and here's the hit, somewhere along in our lives, my lives, I began to believe that that was the way to do things, right? I would convince myself to stay silent. And then silence was strength. I know I'm not the only one, man. I know I'm not the only one. And you know it's not. Right? What I found out in my lifetime that silence was not only a strength, but it was the most expensive thing it cost me along the way. In all the relationships I was in, man. The most expensive habit that I own is costing. Fill in the blanks. If you really think about what I'm saying to you and you're really listening to me, what is the most expensive thing that you can lose? And I'm not talking about just money. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about a husband and a wife. We're talking about two people that are really trying to lean into each other, right? I mean, the husband's providing. You got this great life, and ladies, you're knocking it down too, right? But you get into this in that little huddle room, and everything. Turn off all the lights from the outside world, and you come together, and then get into a space where he hits a nerve, and all of a sudden, what conversations you were having start to go into silent treatment. Stops talking, stops engaging, withdraws, right? Closing yourself off to the people that you claim to be the ones that you're in love with, but you can't admit to. Yeah, and you know you're afraid to lose. Yeah, not can't, but you know you're afraid to lose. But anyway, man, today we're going to talk about just kind of stacking on to what this whole challenge is around, right? It's rising from the silence and understanding and believing and stepping into the power that the strongest thing that we can do, the best, most productive way that we can be in a relationship is to stand in that uncomfortable space of vulnerability. Ask for help when we need it. Don't make excuses when things are difficult, like I used to do all the time. Well, it's, try to blame it on her, right? And it wasn't her fault at all. I mean, I picked something I could blame on her, right? Or made her feel bad. And every time I would stop and look, and I could just see I was just taking something from her, right? And gentlemen, if you are listening and you are truthful, you understand what I'm saying to you. You can see it too. Right? Each time we take that stance, we put a wedge up. Each time we don't step into the conversation and we lean away through silence, we put a wedge up, and then resentments follow that wedge. And these things just continue to stack. And here we are, right? This whole world all of a sudden is blown up in front of us. Why I'm passionate about this for so many reasons. One of them is that I lived this piece of my life, right? When I had everything going on the outside, working, I could manage boardrooms, I could change people's lives and communities and business, and I do all these things and lead people. And, oh man, just like many of you doing all this stuff, right? But when I got home, certain times and throughout, talking about my first marriage, certain times when I really had the opportunity to lean in. I didn't. I chose silence. I got to a point where I just started to withdraw and get quiet and all those other things. And needless to say that those things, didn't help, right? And I ended up leaning out. So, and blew up a relationship that I thought would last forever, man. I talk about it. I want you guys to know that, I'm on your side. Right, and may hear it, and I know when I used